Hey y'all, I thought maybe we'd do a little reading tonight. Heal the soul. Y'all know what I mean? Yeah, so Aldous Huxley, The Death of Lully. The sea lay in a breathing calm, and the galley bosomed in its transparent water, stirred rhythmically to the slow pulse of its sleeping life. Down below, there, fathoms away, through the crystal-clear Mediterranean, the shadow of the ship lazily swung, moving a long, dark patch, very slowly back and forth across the white sand of the sea bottom, very slowly, a scarcely perceptible advance and recession of the green darkness. Fishes sometimes passed, now hanging poised with idly tremulous fins, now darting onwards, effortless and incredibly swift, and always, as it seemed, utterly aimless. Whether they rested or whether they moved, as the life of angels, their life seemed mysterious and unknowable. All was silence on board the ship. In their fetid cage below decks, the rowers slept where they sat, chained on their narrow benches. On deck, the sailors lay sleeping or sat in little groups playing at dice. The forepart of the deck was reserved. It seemed for passengers of distinction. 2 figures, a man and a woman, were reclining there on couches, their faces and half-bared limbs flushed in the coloured shadow that was thrown by the great red awnings stretched above them. It was a nobleman. The sailors had heard, and his mistress, that they had on board. They had taken their passage at Scanderoon and were homeward bound for Spain. Proud as sin these Spaniards were. The man treated them like slaves or dogs. As for the woman, she was well enough, but they could find as good a face and pair of breasts in their native Genoa. If anyone so much as looked at her from half the ship's length away, it sent her possessor into a rage. He had struck one man. For smiling at her. Damned Catalonian, as jealous as a stag. They wished him and stag's horns, as well as its temper. It was intensely hot, even after the awning. The man woke from his uneasy sleep and reached out to where, on a little table beside him, stood a deep silver cup of mixed wine and water. He drank a gulp of it. It was as warm as blood and hardly cooled his throat. He turned over and, leaning on his elbow, looked at his companion. She on her back, quietly breathing through parted lips, still asleep. He leaned across and pinched her on the breast so that she woke up with a sudden start and cry of pain. "Why did you wake me?" she asked. He laughed and shrugged his shoulders. He had indeed had no reason for doing so, except that he did not like it that she would be so comfortably asleep, while he was awake and unpleasantly conscious of the heat. "It is hotter than ever," he said, with a kind of gloomy satisfaction at the thought that she would now have to suffer the same discomforts as himself. The wine scorches instead of cooling. The sun seems no lower down in the sky. The woman pouted. "You pinched me cruelly," she said, "and I still do not know why you wanted to wake me." He smiled again, this time with a good-humored lasciviousness. "I wanted to kiss you," he said. He passed his hand over her body possessively, as a man might caress a dog. Suddenly the quiet of the afternoon was shattered. A great clamor rose up, ragged and uneven, on the air. Shrill yells pierced the dull rumbling growl of bass voices, pierced the sound of beaten drums and hammered metal. "What are they doing in the town?" asked the woman anxiously of her lover. "God knows," he answered. I finished it up in a little bit, y'all. Let's just chill and heal tonight. That's what it's about.